with the pre-production. We have so many ideas to make it very excited, the new stuff. And yeah, it's also because of the different backgrounds everybody of us has. Because our drummer Florian Fügemann, he studied drums. He comes out of the jazz, fusion, progressive rock scene. Had different band projects, and also the bass player. He played pop music, folk, and rock music, and that's the thing I really love about Zirp, because you bring together people from very different musical backgrounds, and the half of the band was not really connected to folk and dance music before, so they came out came in as really newbies, and now we have this very, very unique mixture of roots and modern sound. So this is what makes Zirp really unique, I think.
Now, what made you decide to vert away from Fawn?
Sorry again?
Sorry, I kind of stumbled on that one. I had a feeling I did. What got the idea for you to venture and do a completely different band away from Fawn?
Oh, actually, Zirp was first.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I played some years before I joined Fawn. I had this duo with Olaf, the guitarist, and we played some tunes. Then I think the drummer and the bass player came in 1 year before I joined Fawn, and in the year I joined Fawn, we released the first album of Zirp. So actually, it was before Fawn, yeah.
Oh wow! Wow.
And I think because of Zirp, it might be because of Zirp that Fawn was how can you say that attracted by by me or found out about me, because they searched for a hurdy-gurdy player, which is quite unusual that the band searches for a hurdy-gurdy player. But they searched for one, and it might be that they found Zirp and the music, and then thought, oh, what's that? Hurdy-gurdy player that can play his instrument. Oh, we need him. Yeah, that's how it all went. Yeah.
Oh well, that's a cool story. That's kind of cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
Well, it's kind of funny as far as how they kind of approached you specifically, because you were a hurdy-gurdy player. Here in the U.S., there's so many people playing a lot of the basic instruments that there's too many people to choose from, and that one special person that you want, you almost can't find. Like the band that I joined some years ago had been looking for a keyboard player, but they didn't know where to start. They didn't know who to ask, and I just knew somebody in the band, and he was like, oh yeah, come see a show sometime. And then they had me join, and at first they weren't sure if they liked it, and it's just funny how we're so picky here in the United States over such a wide variety of instruments, whereas in Germany they were specifically looking for just that one very rare, super rare instrument, and you just happened to play it.
and I really have to say that it was a big advantage for me that that I played this very rare, seldom instrument, and this but not only, but this brought me to where I'm now,
Yeah, for sure.
This one little moment when I thought, oh, that's an interesting, strange instrument. Why not try out to play it? It sounds interesting. It's fun, and then I got into it, and now I'm the first hurdy-gurdy player that has a gold record at home.
Yay!
That's an accomplishment right there.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, that's funny. It's, as I said, I love this instrument. I hate this instrument.
Well, you kind of have to with an instrument like that. It's such an interesting thing that you have to kind of really care about it and really kind of want to smash it into pieces at the same time sometimes.
Right.
Which, of course, you would never do, but,
Defected has another thing she said in the chat room. She goes, I think there's also a hurdy-gurdy VST synthesizer out there. Might be very interesting to try that. What's that? Is that something you know about?
It's a synthesizer plugin. Yeah, it's a possibility that somebody could have made one. I don't know what kind of quality it might
I heard
be,
about it. I think I heard it somewhere in some studio production. They showed me. They just found out about this new plugin to synthesize a hurdy-gurdy, and it sounded quite like a hurdy-gurdy, but like in the old way, you know, like in a very traditional medieval sound, which is very like
yeah.
And
So it's like the same way as having like synthesized bagpipes or synthesized accordions, or
right. It works with samples. You create MIDI notes, and those playback samples of a hurdy-gurdy.
I'm actually looking at it online right now. Nice photos. Nice photos of one. I'll just put a picture of it in the chat room for everyone to look. There you go.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Also, a friend of mine, also a hurdy-gurdy player from Germany, he invented a MIDI hurdy-gurdy. You know what MIDI is?
No.
No. How can I explain? Spider, can you help me?
It's one of the earliest forms of computer-based synthesizer music without using a synthesizer instrument. The computer generates tones, and this is really, really, really simple language of it. It's a little bit more complex than the way that I'm saying it, but MIDI, when you used to hear like old video game music on an old computer, what you were hearing was MIDI. It's like beeps and boops arranged into a melody, and people can do some really fantastic things with MIDI who know how to use it, and you can make some really incredible music if you have the right sounds to it.
Yeah, right.
Cool.
And it's a friend of mine invented a MIDI hurdy-gurdy, which works completely electronic. So you have a little microcontroller in it. It has the form of a hurdy-gurdy. It has the crank, it has the keyboard and everything, but it has only sensors inside, and it has a microcontroller, and you get into a computer and connect to a computer, and then it plays like hurdy-gurdy samples. Yeah, but you play an actually hurdy-gurdy as a controller.
See, that's very.
It's more like a hurdy-gurdy
talented.
MIDI controller. Yeah, it's a great thing.
Yeah, so if it's more like a computer, I'm quite confident it doesn't sound the same as the real one.
No, you can still hear that it's sample based. You know, it sounds a bit synthetic. But it's it's a funny thing to make a controller out of such an old instrument, you know. That's what I mean about bringing this instrument to modern times and to modern needs. Yeah.
No, I guess
there are also MIDI bagpipes out there because we have in Germany, especially in Germany, we have lots of those medieval markets. In summer times, you have. Nearly on every weekend you have a medieval market somewhere on some castle, and also in winter times when Christmas comes, we have like Christmas medieval markets, and it's really cold out there, and cold and bagpipe, that's not a good combination. Also with the hurdy-gurdy, and so some of the bands now play MIDI electronic bagpipes. They have only sensors and a pressure sensor in the back, and they work completely electronic. It's a funny thing about pretending to be a medieval musician on the stage with a medieval and clothes and all the stuff, and then playing an electronic instrument. Just for the show.
The show, yeah. Yeah, there you go. Yes, play. Erica, who is one of our voiceovers, she says that sounds like a steampunk hurdy-gurdy.
Yeah, right. You can describe it like that.
Yeah.
The good thing about
it looks more like a future hurdy-gurdy, like a spaceship hurdy-gurdy.
for a little bit more education for you, Shells. As far as MIDI goes, MIDI can be pretty much two ways. Though the way that we're talking about here is sample-based, which means they recorded or let a computer listen to what a real instrument is supposed to sound like, so it can kind of make its own sounds as close as possible. So it's kind of based off of the real instrument, whereas the other version is totally electronic. You use the computer and just completely make it up from scratch, which sounds obviously a lot more electronic. But it's funny to hear a sample-based MIDI that's close, that's not quite the same as the instrument, because you can kind of hear it, and it almost sounds like too good in some parts and too electronic in other parts.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Okay. and Defected Kid. Hey, I'm actually saying her band name correctly. She was saying that the instrumental is perfect for people like her, who knows nothing about playing a real instrument, because she's basically all electronic. So she can actually use that that electronics and actually put that into her music. That'd be kind of interesting to listen to. Techno. Hurdy-gurdy techno.
Hurdy-gurdy techno. Yeah. we have some tunes that almost go in this direction, actually.
Really?
Maybe you play it later on. I think I sent you the tune La Toupie we play. This is actually a French polka. You know, polka umta. And we made our own version out of it, and this is almost like like a drum and bass version. You know, because we played very fast, that the drums are doing this drum and bass rhythm, and the most exciting thing is that I use electronic effects on the hurdy-gurdy on that tune. This is also quite unique in what we're doing, because we use effects and how to say it, and bring different sounds or strange sound out of the acoustic instruments. So I use like distortion or delays or wah-wah effects that you know from e-guitar. I used them on the hurdy-gurdy, especially in this tune, and create a whole new sound out of the hurdy-gurdy. At some concerts, people ask me, was this a synthesizer you played, or analog synthesizer, or what was it? And yeah, and that's the thing that we sometimes play a tune, an old dance tune, in a really traditional way with acoustic instruments, and then we switch over to rock and progressive and turn on all the effects and show the people how it can work, how it can sound these days. Yeah.
And guess what, guys? It is actually tuned up. So here it is. It's Great. It's La Toupie. How do you pronounce it?
La Toupie. This is French and means I don't know what it means. In wait. It's gyroscopic.
Okay. All right.
Okay, here, guys, go.
Okay.
All right.
Have fun.
Have fun, guys.